hidden missiles.
Advancing guard.
Foot dive.
Oh, she is everything I asked for and so much more. My name is Chrome Alchemist, and this was my response when Danger was announced for Marvel Tokon Fighting Souls.
Is that? No, they didn't do that. Is that danger? Is that danger? Is that danger? Is it danger?
Yeah, that's right, one of 4 Danger fans on the planet. And I was so excited to play her, I flew halfway around the world to Arc World Tour Finals in Seoul, Korea. I played up to 24 hours of the latest build of Marvel Tokon Fighting Souls. Now, I am here to tell you it was absolutely worth it, because a fantastic game got even better. Mostly because Danger's in it. And I'm here to bring you an exclusive deep dive breakdown of this character and everything she does. And boy, is that character degenerate. I'm talking real strong, real dry, but also really versatile. But when I say dry, I'm talking bullet hell. I'm talking R-Type Delta, Ikaruga, Toho, Gradius. I can't even think of any more. I guess Cannon Spike, but that doesn't really count. I'm here to tell you that character is fantastic, but don't take my word for it. Take a look at the video right now. I hope you enjoy. Let's talk Danger. Alright, so let me try and go into as much detail as I can as to why I think Danger is absolutely insane. We're gonna go through everything. But first, let's start with her movement. So hover dash, right? Everyone's seen this in the trailer. If you played an Arxis fighter before, you've seen a character move like this. Pressing buttons during this dash allows for high-low mix-ups. Do bear in mind it can be anti-aired by crouching heavy. But if you are planning to do that, it's not going to be so easy, because she can in fact block during that hover dash, and she can double jump out of it. So she actually has good mobility options and defensive options, even though she has a hover dash instead of a ground dash. So it's not committal at all. Also, the things that I think are kind of crazy with it is just like any other dash, you can call assist during it, but because of the way the hover dash works, she can actually fly straight over you while calling assist to actually create cross-up situations. So she can create left-rights from this. And she can also do the same dash at the round start for complete control over her positioning. So this is a very mobile character, as you can see.
Bro, the fact that that goes over like that is nuts.
Now her throw is actually like Dr. Doom's in the sense that because she doesn't have a traditional ground dash like everybody else, she's not gonna run up and throw you, she's going to walk. So if you think you're gonna be throwing somebody the same way you would with every other character, think again. Drill dive kick is a command normal, and therefore it can be special cancelled on hit or on block, but not on whiff. So you can actually create pressure situations or mix-up situations off of this, but it is going to cost you some of your assembly gauge if assisted. Now solo, she can cancel into the Calibrate or one of her beams. I do know it can be comboed, so alright, let's get to the absolute bedrock of this character's neutral, which is Calibrate. This is her unique attack. Now I'm sure you've been seeing these floating around and wondering what they are and what they do. Well, these modify the effects of a couple of her moves, some of which including the Holobeam, Holoseeker, and Translocation, also Synchro Beam. So pressing unique fires a projectile that splits into 3 satellites on contact with the enemy or the wall. And you can fire this in 3 different directions, both on the ground and in the air. You can fire it horizontally, at a shallow diagonal angle, and a much more vertical diagonal angle. Now this is a regular projectile like anything else, so you can actually fire at the enemy and interrupt their attacks, or simply zone with it, but it is far more useful than that. At any point, you can tap the unique button again, and the Calibrate stops dead in its tracks and splits straight into 3 wherever it is that you press the button. This allows for very, very granular positioning and is really, really useful. Also, by the way, I think this Calibrate that is shot directly up off screen like this is completely broken, but I'm gonna get to why. But what happens is you throw it all the way up there and it slowly comes down to normal jump height, even though it actually is fired at super jump height. Alright, so let's look at the Holobeam. This is going to be Danger's most commonly used and standard projectile. The light version is a horizontal beam that goes straight across the ground. If the opponent's aware enough, you can jump over or air dash over. But regardless, it's going to be used for projectile wars and for general zoning across the floor if the opponent keeps their feet planted. If they don't keep their feet planted, then you've got the medium beam. This one bounces off the ground and does it in a V shape if you do it in the air. And you can really affect the trajectory of this depending on how close or far away you are from the ground. Really useful actually, and the more you play, the more you get used to the types of angles and situations that you can create and make it really, really annoying for the opponent. But really, really fun for you if you're using it. Because I know it was for me, boy. The EX version shoots both the light and medium versions together. Useful if you can't get a read on the opponent or if you just need to really put the durability out there. Now, how does this work with the Calibrate? If you shoot this beam into any of the Calibrate satellites, the Calibrate absorbs the beams and it tracks towards the opponent's last known position. Now, this is where the bullet hell begins. It doesn't really matter where your opponent is. If they're in the same place when the beam starts tracking them, it's gonna hit them. They need to be aware of this and they need to respect it. And because of this, you can create some nasty, nasty zoning patterns.
There we go. Now we're cooking. Now we're in my domain. We're in my domain. This is my world.
Now, a single beam can only trigger one Calibrate satellite, but the EX can actually trigger two, making your opponent's attempt to close the gap a living hell. Listen, don't think it's all just smooth sailing, because these dry games don't come for free. If you are hit when the beam is recalibrating, the beam does disappear. This is something that was actually changed from the trailer, and me personally, I do think it's kind of fair, because I do think this character's pretty messed up as is. I just think in general, if you have played Arxis Zoners before, you're gonna feel at home with a character like this. I think her kit, her tool set, very reminiscent of a bunch of different characters. She feels like a bit of a pastiche, almost like a greatest hits of Zoners when it comes to Arxis. Really, really cool to play. All right, now you heard me before say I thought one of these Calibrate angles is broken. And here's why. If you shoot the Calibrate into the air and you bounce the beam off the ground and you hit it from all the way up there, you can rain down beams on the opponent's head. And if they aren't paying attention, they're gonna get hit by that. And also it hits at such an awkward angle, they can't really even fight it. They have to move out of the way. Holoseeker. Now this is the rockets that she actually fires out that you've seen. And this is if you hold the input rather than press the button. Light Holoseeker, you fire a rocket that goes horizontally in a straight line. Medium Holoseeker actually has light tracking and goes in parabolic arcs. So if the opponent simply thinks it can just jump over these rockets, Medium Holoseeker is going to slap them back into reality, and it's going to show that it's not so easy to just simply hop over these projectiles and think you're going to have an easy time. But as I said, light tracking. Normal jump height, it will track. Super jump height, it's not going to go that high. This isn't hidden missiles we're talking about here. And the EX Holoseeker also does tracking, more rockets, more damage, standard EX stuff. Also more of a hitbox at the start, so for doing it up close, you can actually use it for combo food. Now the way this interacts with Calibrate is that it creates explosions that juggle the opponent. Now this in fact can allow you to call someone out of full screen, close the gap, and be able to continue the combo, because it actually does that much stun. Also, just bigger explosions in general make it just harder to jump over and just navigate through. So it definitely enhances their space manipulation and zoning. And listen, we're not even done there, because the real bullet hell is once you start to combine Holobeam and Holoseeker together. After you do any of the inputs of Holobeam, if you tap any of the strength buttons again, you get Holoseeker straight after that. And you can literally mix and match. You can do medium Holobeam into light Holoseeker, light Holobeam into medium Holoseeker, EX into any of the others, and etc. But the limitation here is that you can't go from Holoseeker into Holobeam, only Holobeam into Holoseeker. So you can start with a rocket, but you can't go back into a beam. Do bear that in mind. But regardless, you mix all of that with Calibrate, and like I said, man, you're putting them in the trenches.
Oh, good. I'm not dead. I'm dead. You're dead. You're dead. Hey, remember I was gonna drop it? Nah, we're gonna drop it this time.
All right, translocation on its own looks pretty innocuous. You just teleport into the air, looks like you don't do anything, right? Now that's because this thing requires Calibrate in order to actually work properly. It requires a setup. But, once you do set up that Calibrate, oh my days, she can teleport to any of those Calibrate satellites. When you teleport, if you hold left, right, or just leave it in neutral, you can teleport to any of those three different ones at any time. Now throw in a couple assists, you see where I'm going with this? You can get left-right mix-ups on a zoning character. Just to recap, she has a high-low mix-up, she's got left-rights with translocation as well, and she's a zoner. This character can literally transition from defense to offense whenever she wants. But do bear in mind though that you can't cross up in the corner. Oh, and I almost forgot. If you hold the button down, even when the Calibrate's on screen, you don't teleport to any of them, so you can do a fake teleport in place. Crazy mix-up potential. I mean, I can't be the only person that this sounds cheap to, right? This sounds real cheap, real broken, and fantastic, I can't lie. Now the EX version has a hitbox that you can combo into, and this is also soft knockdown.
What am I doing? Okay, all right, okay. Oh, start with the drill at the end. Oh.
Yeah, now Translocate is just giving one of those things that makes it really, really frustrating for your opponent. They do all that work to get towards you, and as soon as they get near you, if you've thrown those calibrates behind them and you teleport out of there, you're gone, boy. They're not catching you. But there is a good amount of startup on the teleport. So you're not going to be mashing this teleport in the middle of block strings or in the middle of getting pressured, because you will actually get punished out of that, as you can see here. Draw Piercer, the light version, safe on block and causes heavy chip. Medium version also causes heavy chip, a little bit less safe. And the EX version, you're going to be doing loads more chip damage. Also, if you do the input again, you can detach the drill and send it flying forward. The light version knocks them horizontally and through the wall. The medium version pops them up and allows you to continue the combo. Now, Kill Switch is a Psycho Crusher move. She flies forward doing a flurry of attacks. Now, the light version simply goes horizontally. You can potentially catch somebody pressing buttons, but honestly, this move is very unsafe on block. You will get punished if you just throw it out. The medium version goes diagonal and you can combo afterwards. This one is basically combo food. You can do it in the air and on the ground. And the heavy version, if you simply tap it, it goes horizontally. If you hold it, it goes diagonally. Same in the air as well. Again, no interaction with Calibrate.
So not everything knocks you full screen. Some of them actually knock you further away. You about to wrap this one up.
I'm trying.
It's good.
I'll tell you that much. Oh, that doesn't work. Oh, it does?
It does if you say it up.
Now, the Synchro Beam does have a few more quirks to it than it first appears. So without any setup, if you're going to try and throw this out at full screen thinking it's Iron Man's Unibeam, it's not. It's got a long startup, then it fires the beam. Everybody can react to that at full screen. Now, what they can't react to so easily is that if you have calibrates out on the screen and you activate Synchro Beam, those calibrates first fly towards the opponent and juggle them, and then you fire your beam. And this allows for much more effective punishes. So can be used as a punish tool, just needs to be set up first. Now up close, it's a different story. At point blank, this thing does have a hitbox and can be comboed into. So you can use it as a combo ender very effectively, as I have in all the matches that you're gonna see.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, I just think in terms of the anti-zoning game plan, while she might not be able to wall up in the same way that Dr. Doom can, I think the way in which she can find a way to get you no matter where you are on the screen is what's gonna make her so frustrating and so scary to play against. It's just absolutely insane.
All right, and these are the assists. Beam assist is a simple assist, but it does interact with Calibrate. You just need to set it up beforehand. Vertical assist is the EX version of her Translocate, and it does a soft nut down in the same way it does it on point. The one thing I didn't actually test here is, does she teleport to the Calibrates when using the assist? And I'm sorry, if she does, that means that this anti-air assist is also a mix-up tool. Absolutely insane. This is something we need to test next possible opportunity we get. And her unique assist is the drill, if you want to get yourself some pressure and some chip. Sadly, I forgot to get clean footage of her air assist, but it is basically quill switch down, as you can see here, kind of. Right, so here's some final thoughts and some theory crafting on her game plan overall, and maybe where her place in a team could be. Now, as I said at the start, this character is a lot more versatile than she first appears. She looks like she's just going to be filling the screen with a lot of projectiles to zone you and to frustrate you, but really and truly, she can mix it up. She has high-low and left-right mix-ups. She can transition from defense to offense because of the teleport. The drill does allow her to apply pressure with frame advantage, gives her more opportunities to then mix you up again. She can't really do it infinitely because of the way that her movement works. She has to put herself into some sort of danger in order to continue pressuring you. While it seems oppressive, I think there are going to be a bunch of things that can potentially balance her out somewhat, even though I still think she is very, very strong. She can zone the rushdown characters, she can zone the zoners, she can zone the anti-zoners, as you can see here as well. Against Vardek, shout outs to Vardek, because of the fact that she can basically throw a projectile at you from any angle of the screen, and that is something that basically no other character so far can do, and I don't really expect any character to ever really be able to do again for the remainder of the roster. Against other zoners, like for example Iron Man and Doom, I think still, maybe in a straight-on, head-on fireball war, she's going to be able to clash with them and zone and go toe-to-toe, no problem, right? But I think in order to best them in the way that I'm describing, where she can create this zoning pattern that can have her attack from any angle, she's going to need to set that up, right? She's going to need to shoot out the Calibrate and position it in a way that is advantageous to her. In order for her to do that, she's going to need to have assist back her, because I think if she doesn't do that, the way that the durability system currently works in this game, they either clash or they get eaten up quite easily. So you might even see if I can find it, her Calibrate just getting eaten up by another projectile. Like I said, that's the bedrock of her neutral, so if something like that disappears, it's not the end of the world because she can shoot it again, but it does stifle her ability to then continue that momentum because she has to find a time to shoot out again. It's not the hardest thing in the world because of the fact that you just press unique, but regardless, that is something to factor in. So against an Iron Man, maybe a Doom, she's probably gonna have to really think about what it is that she's doing and how she sets these things up. If you look at the way that I was playing in some of these videos, right, specifically against Vardek and against Virgil. Against Virgil, I had Storm second, so the shooter assist. What this allowed is because of the speed of the tornado and where it just travels like that, it gives me that sort of gap to then shoot out another Calibrate, get that pattern going, and start to create those trap situations in which the opponent thinks they can move and then they start to get hit and they start to lose health, right? Or even gives me that opportunity to then teleport and transition into a left-right mix-up. And that worked in that situation, right? Now against Vardek, it was less so for me about trying to create that obstacle course pattern and more about trying to circumvent how Doom was trying to shut me down. So you see, as I said, right, I shoot the Calibrate up into the sky, I bounce the beam off the ground, and then I just land it on his head, and then that means he can't simply throw up the Aegis Reflector, I'm gonna just call it Aegis Reflector, and shut me down completely, right? And so in that situation, having Doom Beam is actually really valuable. I think I'm actually gonna make a video about this, so do look out for something like that. I'm gonna do some more theory crafting, talk more about this kind of stuff. If you are interested in stuff like that, do let me know in the comments. But yeah, for that, I went for a faster beam, and that allowed me to then pressure Doom at full screen far easier, so then I could set up those patterns I was talking about, or set up those angles I was talking about, and then give him something to think about. But what I did find to be useful, right, was Storm's special assists, where she does the tornado and drags somebody forward, right? So now I've got both durability on the screen and I can screw up somebody's positioning, and this is actually really good for somebody who feels like they are spacing out danger zoning and get quite comfortable. Now all of a sudden you get dragged forwards and the thing you thought wasn't going to hit you is about to hit you. So this actually is really good for frustrating the opponent even more. So, and a lot of very interesting situations that you can create that can really give the opponent pause. Also, right, that's just not just for zoning as well. I really wish I hit these, but here are some examples of me trying to steal the corner when I'm rushing down. So as I said before, with her regular teleports, you can't cross up in the corner, but you can create this situation. And because of that, that means that if you have this type of assist behind you, right, the opponent who before was thinking, okay, before I only had to worry about high lows and that's it in the corner because she can't left right me, now you do get the left rights. So that was like another layer that you can throw on top of that. All right, now as far as like assists when she's not on point, I was using a beam because, you know, it's very straightforward, very quick beam, very simple and shooter assist. I thought her anti-air assist, I don't think I have any footage, but I thought her anti-air assist was pretty good as well with the hitbox of it and the speed of it. But despite the fact that it was faster than like Magic's, I think Magic's hitbox on the way that she dragon punches is just so much bigger. And to me, if I can time it correctly, it just sweeps away much more of the nonsense that could be happening coming from the sky. And I like the idea of it. I mean, obviously depending on the character against, it could depend. Danger special assist, I didn't really get to use it too much, and I think in the way that I was playing, maybe it wouldn't have benefited me as much. This would be something for you guys that are much more aggressive in your play. The frame advantage and the pressure and the chip that it creates, right? I'm sure you could probably create some interesting situations of it. I personally didn't find it to be so useful with the way that I was playing, but it doesn't mean that this is a useless assist. I'm not, you know, 24 hours of play, while it was a long time to get a good amount of footage, in the grand scheme of playing a fighting game, it's nothing, right? So we've got much more to figure out, much more to unpack, and that's why, like, for me, unsure as of right now. Not going to call it a bad assist, it's just not an assist I was personally using. Because of that though, I think that if I was to put danger in any slots, it would personally be first slot and second slot, on point, or, you know, with the beam assist, and then ready to just switch between an aggressive character or a zoning character like Danger. Well, Danger's, like I said, more versatile, but regardless, the ability to switch between the two, I would prefer something like that. But I don't feel like her assists in the special slot was as useful to me or worth not having access to that character. So me personally, I just left it as is. I left her in first and second, and that was good enough for me. I left Magic in fourth. And Magic in fourth really worked for me, actually. I think all three of those assists can work really, really well for her, both in zoning and in rushdown and mix-up. But I think Magic's was really, really good for her, I felt, because it's just that extra layer of stuff to worry about in terms of keep away. Storms as well works great for both keep away and rushdown and Doom. games is just great because I can buy enough time to set it up and then I can go in and create that mix up because it'll be on top of the opponent by the time they're done blocking what I'm blocking. So a lot of really great stuff that you can really think about. Can't wait to play this character again, man. I'm just really looking forward to it.
This character's going to be a day one for me. And just Arxis, please do not nerf her until I've had my fun. Kick the can down the road as far as you can for as long as you can. Because she was so fun at that build and I think she's just going to be so much more fun if you keep her the way that you keep her. Hey, even make her better if you want. Maybe that's not so fair, but regardless, fantastic character. Anyway, that's the breakdown. I hope it was worth the wait. Again, thank you for your patience and thank you all for the responses that you've given to all the content that I put out. I've still got a bunch more content to put out, match footage. Hopefully I'll do an actual breakdown of Magic. There's a few things that people have missed. I've got a little bit more extra footage that I can shed light on some of these things. So do keep a lookout on the Twitter and on the YouTube, AdvancingGuardTV, one word. And again, thank you for getting me up to 1,000 followers on Twitter. I'm putting out lots more content, a whole breakdown of Magic to put out as well. That'll be the definitive one, hopefully. If you do decide to subscribe, you will be getting more stuff like this in the future whenever I get the chance to come to more of these events. I do respond in the comments. We do always have little conversations. I'm always ready to have discussions with people because my brain is on 24/7 about this game and I absolutely love it. So I can't wait. I mean, 5 more months, man. What is it? Wait, where are we? April, May, June, July. 5 more months? Well, I guess we'll all have to endure it together. My name's Chrome Alchemist. Safe you lot. It's been emotional. Until next time.
You're not gonna go out like that, are you? Get back in there and try again.